Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 4. Time is flying. This week we're focusing in on chapter 4. What does it take to work with a school age child, or what does it take to work with school age children? Definitely takes a lot. So many of you are already currently in the field and you understand that it takes quite a bit of um, skills, and you gotta have a sense of humor and be able to go with the flow sometimes. Um, Lots happening when you work with school age children, but lots of fun, but definitely something you can walk away with lots of stories from. I'll tell you, over the years of working with school age children, I have probably a number of stories, some that went really well, some that taught me a lesson. And all in all, you just gotta realize that every day will not be perfect, and being flexible is really important, not only for the children but for yourself. Of course, we want to take things seriously when we work with children, so safety and those types of things are always important. But sometimes children just need some accommodations, and so you got to roll with the punches sometimes. So, um, lots happening when you work with school age children. But great fun as well. So here are some people that work with school age children. So you could be an after school program leader, inclusion aide, a classroom aide, a volunteer, service club leader, a family child care provider, or site supervisor. I'll tell you personally, I've been a number of these on the list. All have their challenges, all have their rewards. But if you just really enjoy working with children, um, it's a good idea to get in somehow. I started as an aide, and that really helped me kind of move up the ladder a little bit and learn a lot that way. And then as you progress in the field, you can change roles sometimes. Sometimes you go into more of an administrative role versus um, kind of an aide role. So here's some common things that you need to know. Definitely key is having a knowledge of child development. So thinking about milestones, being able to put children's behavior into context with what is appropriate for school age children, what would be common in terms of behavior and characteristics. Those things are essential. Once you learn how to organize and run a program, you'll be able to plan activities and experiences that are not only age appropriate but developmentally appropriate. So remember, sometimes we categorize children as a particular age, and that's fine. That's a good start. But you also need to realize that some children will need a little more challenge, some will need a little more support. It really just depends on the individual child. But being able to develop and plan activities that are meaningful and enjoyable is definitely important when you work with school age children. Lots of educational options. Obviously, you're here in this course because you are wanting to learn more. Maybe you're getting some of your units. So there's lots of different college and university certificates and degrees. So likely you are in a degree program now, and then credential and state issued certificates. So if you have a particular position in the field that you are interested in, I highly recommend you start looking around to determine what sort of units or degree qualifications you will need to have in order to acquire that position. It also doesn't hurt to work um, and really get to know people in the field. Palomar has a wonderful child development club that you may want to get involved in because that will help connect you. And the department chair, Jenny Ferrero, has wonderful knowledge and experiences that you may want to tap into. So if you have the time and it works in your schedule and in your life, I would recommend kind of getting involved with the club. And there's lots of different professional development opportunities. So there's online modules, there's courses you can take, there's workshops and conferences around the state that you can attend, and then you can definitely join different organizations that work with school-age children, or even a little broader age range is actually fine because it doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have more knowledge than not. It definitely is a help. So Something I want to encourage you to do if you're not in the field already and that you're thinking this is something that you want to do, take some time to reflect and determine if you are a good fit as a leader in a school age setting. So you'll need to kind of think about your personality, your temperament, the dispositions. Are you a positive role model? Do you have lots of energy? Are you flexible? Do you have a sense of humor? If you say yes to all of these things, likely you are a good fit. You may want to ask kind of your friends and family what they think as well, because these things are really important. I know I've worked with several people throughout my career, even in the county shelter, and if they weren't flexible and had a sense of humor sometimes, it made it difficult not only on the children but for themselves because they really saw their work as really hard or really difficult, and that makes for no fun for anybody, and it just makes for more stress when you feel that way. So sometimes you got to just laugh things off. Um, Obviously you pay attention and you are serious when it comes to things like safety, health and safety. But sometimes school-age children are just silly. They're funny. They sometimes do wild things that you are not expecting. And so sometimes you just got to roll with it. Sometimes you can take those opportunities to teach them something new, or encourage them to grow in a particular area, and that's fine. But definitely, you gotta have high energy to do this work with school-age children. So definitely you have to have the basic competencies, so skills and knowledge. You want to be able to have strategies in your back pocket for guiding behavior. So we've talked a lot about this on Child Development 180, and again in this class we'll talk more about that. You want to understand how children and youth develop. You definitely want to understand and know how to work collaboratively with families and different agencies. Sometimes we look at our work with children as working with the children, but in fact, it's more than that. When we work with children, we work with the family, and sometimes we work with colleagues, other staff, different agencies, and that's essential. So you have to be flexible, you have to be able to adapt to these situations. Sometimes you have to learn to be a leader and speak up. Sometimes you have to know when the time is for you just to kind of suck it up and do what needs to be done. Of course, not negating any health or safety standards, but sometimes we have to put aside our own preferences or our likings or work styles to make it all flow. You definitely have to establish and maintain a healthy environment, and you have to be professional above all else. So thinking about who you are as a professional is really essential. You want to keep growing. You will not walk onto the job a perfectionist. You'll have some tough days sometimes. You'll have wonderful days. You'll have a lot of growing pains at times. Just part of the job. So realize it's not necessarily a reflection of you not being a good fit, but sometimes it's just can help enlighten you and help you know where to grow or learn more. All right, so take some time if you can tap into some of your friends and family and kind of see what they think about you. If you can work with a mentor staff member, mentor teacher that can help give you pointers and help mentor you along the way for kind of where you are headed in your career, all the better. I know for me, I worked with a mentor teacher for a number of years. And it really helped me kind of as a new teacher and then kind of moving into the role of an administrator, which is what I ended up ultimately doing before I moved into full-time teaching with adults. So definitely it's hard sometimes. Sometimes you get really honest feedback that's difficult, but if you have the right attitude and you take the time to improve where you need to improve, you're all the better, but more importantly, the children are better for it. So with that, I'll wrap up this kind of extended talk here, and I will see you all online in the discussion forums. As always, if you need anything at all, you have my email. Please reach out. My role is to support you, so please ask. Thanks, everybody.